What's up, y'all? This is Black Light. Today, I'm bringing y'all a story that I didn't get to talk about. Y'all might be familiar with the black guy that was out in the woods, with white friends, and then these group of white men tried to grab him and like lynch him, and they like caught it on tape. It was a real big story coming out of Blooming, Indiana. But I didn't really get to do a commentary on the video, but it was something that I always want to talk about. It's kind of like an older story. But anyway, he out. We're gonna watch the footage and stuff from it. But he's out in the woods with white friends for some type of celebration or thing out in the woods, right? And he hears these people chant like white power, and I guess it's a bandana or something, or they have a banner saying white power or something like that on that. So he decides he wants to go and talk to these people for whatever reason, and then they eventually try to lynch him. But anyway, this is Black Light. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Welcome aboard to my new subscribers. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. And now we're going to go ahead and get into this footage because this was like one of the most craziest, serious, and funniest videos um, that I've actually seen. So that's why I wanted to share it with y'all. So we're gonna listen to what happened from him, and then after we listen to what he says, then we're gonna actually watch the actual video footage because I actually have the videos of exactly what took place or what happened or the ones that were out there for those who aren't familiar with what happened. But let's listen to what this fool talking about.
Had informed us that these gentlemen had set up sort of a barricade or blockade on the beach using had informed us that these gentlemen.
Okay, so the first thing, look, I'm already pausing because he already said something wrong. So first off, you were in the woods and these people have set up a barricade, meaning they're blocking you. They want to be separate. They don't want to be, around you guys or whatever. And then, so that was the first thing right there. And then check out what he did.
Had set up sort of a barricade or blockade on the beach using the boat and some ATVs. And as they were coming in, they had white power and some other phrases chanted at them. It was all very disturbing.
So then,
Okay, so y'all put yourself in his shoes right now. You in the middle of the woods, you with all white friends, right? And then you see a group of people with a barricade, and then they're chanting white power. So, what would be your next step? I want y'all to leave me some comments. What would be your next step? What would be the next thing that you would do? Somebody tell me what would be the next thing that you would do. But we about to listen to what he did next.
what happened? Explain when they actually physically attacked you folks.
So a friend and I went down.
See right there. See that? See, that's when I was done right there. When he says, so a friend and I went down. That's what he decided to do. Him and a friend decided to go down. Mind you, his friend is white, right? So a friend and him decided to go down. This is just so crazy to me, for real.
So a friend and I went down to see if we could just talk to some of these folks and build a rapport and reason.
Why?
The conversation was going well. Then this gentleman that with the Confederate flag hat on initially joined. He quickly became belligerent. We felt the situation develop.
See, my problem is that this is so sad and scary to see that we have blacks with this mindset. Like you're out in the woods. What does he not understand that he's black? I'm not understanding. These people out in the middle of the woods and they're yelling white power, and then you try to go have a dialogue and have a conversation with you. Most people that's yelling white power, they absolutely don't like blacks. I mean, I'm not understanding like what how he didn't get that or that he didn't know that. Like he tried to walk down and have a dialogue.
And so we just simply walked away. A few moments later, as we were walking away, I heard footsteps quickly approaching. This man came at me and swung his fist at me. Another gentleman came. So I was on the ground with them. A third gentleman came. We tussled for a moment. Two more men came. And from there,
They was
they were
thirsty
able
too.
to
They was
pin
thirsty.
and drag my body to this tree and put their body weight on me. And as several of the folks started kicking and punching me, there's a moment where
Now they
the
got him up
gentlemen
against the tree now.
jumps on my neck with both of his feet, and I can feel his full body weight impact me. It was scary. There was They were literally in the video. You can hear one of the gentlemen refer to me as nappy headed. At that time, he had his hands in my hair and was using my hair as leverage to strike me in the back of the head as his friends held me down.
And then what happened?
The noise, one of the men's daughters heard us. She came out screaming for her father to let me go, for his friends to get off me. They refused and tried to tell her to go away. More people.
But anyway, my purpose of this short is we about to watch the actual footage of what happened. But so far, we understand that this fool was out in the woods, right? And he's seen this group of white people yelling white power, and they're barricaded. When they see them, they yelling white power. And so then he decides to go walk down to this group of people and try to start a conversation and dialogue with them, which inflames some of them to get pissed off, probably at the audacity and the nerve. And then they proceeded to try to follow him and lynch him and put him up on that tree. And then if it wasn't on camera, we'd be watching his face on the news, and they'd be saying he was out in the middle of the woods and he committed suicide. See, that would have been the next thing. If they didn't have cameras, he would have been Vox Booker on Bloomington News tonight, found out in the woods, no foul play. Says he committed suicide. That would have been the next thing.
The daughter screaming because we were still close to the roadside, and people.
Okay, so let's go ahead and watch the actual video. I just want y'all to hear out of his mouth what happened. Hold on, because I just want y'all to hear that how he was foolish enough. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what's in your mind that you would feel okay. Like, what's his mentality? Like, does he think that he's better than the average black or the normal black, or he's not black? Like, I'm not understanding. Most black people understand and know that when you have a group of people that's yelling white power or something like that, that they're not fond of black people, and most likely they want to do some harm to you. So I'm not getting it, but let's watch the video.
Let him go. We're just trying to get out of here, guys. We're just trying to get out of here.
Mind you, in the background, these are his friends yelling, "Let him go!" But there, you see, they not trying to do nothing physical or nothing like that to try to save him. So, but we're gonna watch.
Let him go. Let him go.
He don't realize how much danger that he really was in. Like, it's so crazy that he would be in the middle of these woods with these people and they yelling white power, and then you would stick around. Like, that's so crazy.
Let him go.
He lightweight kind of
Let
got
him
what
go.
he deserved. Lightweight.
Please let him go. We're going to as soon as you let him go. I'm going to. Get the fuck out.
Now check that out. They said you go, and then we will let him go. You hear that? They trying to tell them to leave. Leave him with us.
Let him go. We're going to.
Okay, so y'all, now check this out. We about to see in this video. So anyhow, they eventually got him to let him go or whatever like that, right? And so let's see how put yourself in this situation. Okay, you just was in the woods. These people was yelling white power for whatever reasons. You decide to go down and try to have a dialogue with them. I guess make the world a better place, whatever like that, right? So they get pissed off. They put you up against a tree. Um, somebody yells, "Go get a noose!" Right? So they're trying to hang you. They had said, y'all leave him with us or whatever like that, right? But they eventually end up letting him go and then check out how he's responding. Like, what would your reaction or your response be? Let me know in the comments at this point in the video. Video number 2, what would your response? What would you be doing once they let you go or once you were free from them? How would you react? And now let's watch how he's reacting.
You guys invaded us. You guys invaded us. No one invaded you. You just fucking liberal fuck. Bring it back. That's what you get. Take your ass on.
Nah, he's just joy walking through the woods.
And then Star Wars. Okay. You happy about this? You fucking nappy headed bitch. Happy about this?
What do you really want to call me?
You nappy headed bitch.
What do you want to call me?
Now look at Now this is him. This is him talking about what do you want to call me? He's still out in the woods with these people. He's still out in the middle of the woods with these people that he know that this tribe was trying to attempt to hang him, right? This is his reaction.
You happy with your
He's still out there, y'all. Just the joy walking like did nothing happen. He don't realize like I'm not understanding like what's wrong with him. Like he really I think that he just don't really believe that they would do something to him. Like I'm not understanding like he think that white people are what I don't know inherently good or not harmful. I'm not understanding with the history that we have in this country when somebody would try to yell get a noose and they got physical with you and you're out in the middle of the woods and you're the only black person like why you would just be walking and being so calm and still talking to these people.
I'm trying to go there. I'm trying to go there. This is private property. This is public property.
Look at him. And he and shit and pissed his damn pants. Look at that. Now they ain't had you in a position to where you was that scared to where you shouldn't piss your pants, and instead you getting the hell out of Dodge like they telling you to do. You walking through like you got some type of I don't know if you feel like he had some type of safe or protection or I'm not understanding what was in his mind. Like is he serious?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Gary. Gary. This is a person. Oh,
Look at him. Like, what's wrong with him, y'all? What's wrong with him? 'Cause he don't.
Okay.
You better be glad they had that camera.
Okay.
There's a better pen and place those are that work. So go, I just want my dog. I'm sorry. My dog. My dog.
I didn't see you feel intimidated. Your dog. Yeah. No one can do anything to you. Come on, buddy. Yeah.
Big go. Big go. Big go. All right, Max. Hey, somebody else decide if you're not happy with that. All right, Max. Go. Come over here and hang out. Let's go.
I don't get it. I don't think you have racist rules, you guys. Somebody coming up behind Dad on it. Hey, go. There's somebody behind you. There's somebody behind you. What do you think is going to happen? There's somebody.
And he just, I'm not understanding. Look at him trying to act like he's big and bad. Like, why you walking up he trying to walk up like trying to be Billy Badass. And if they try to do something, when none of them getting physical, they was doing all talking, like, let him go, let him go. But with nobody doing nothing physical to help him get free. They let him go. And most likely because they knew they were on the camera. They, like, what are you trying to prove? Why they sitting there arguing with people and start getting out the woods? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not getting it. Now, see, why they blocking like that, me, I would be getting my ass on down the road. While they being distracted, and I think that that's like what they're trying to do. Like, we got them, you go ahead and get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I think at this point they trying to block, like, you go ahead and get out of here. Instead of him keeping it pushing, he's still trying to hang with them and be a part of the group and hang with them instead of getting his ass out of Dodge. Like, why is you still standing there while they're talking to these people being a distraction or more or less blocking instead of you getting away, you just hanging out in the woods? Like, what is his mentality? And they study yelling that this is private property, whether it actually was private property or not. He was saying that it was private property. And so then what if he had a gun or something, then he shot you and then, oops, I didn't know they was on my property or whatever. Because when somebody says something like that, you're on private property or you're on private property and they're being hostile towards you, that means something. Look at him, just a joy walking. Wait, we about to let me see because I want to watch this other video so some of the people that was actually there can say what was going on. So let me pause this. Well, look at him taking selfies and shit. Like, what's going on with him? What's going on, y'all? What's going on with him? Okay, let me see. I want to share this other video because I want y'all to hear what some of the actual witnesses were saying. Um, let me see something. Okay, well, we about to watch this one, y'all. He's still doing some talking or whatever, and it's going to show some of the actual what some of the people were saying was there.
We would have been somewhere in this area, back along the trailway. I had been invited to a Facebook event that was about watching the limo slip. I had made a new friend who was new to town, was very much into kayaking, wilderness activities. Fox and I came out to this exactly. This is our first time hiking to the site. We encounter a gentleman who has a bit of an oversized Confederate flag hat on. He was asking what we were doing back here and said something about it being private property. I remember when he asked us if we needed to ride, we were both like, no, we're cool, we'll just hike. He was like, no, let me give you guys a ride up to Max's campground. I know where you are. I think he was intentionally trying to be intimidating to Vox.
Maybe a half hour later, another
Okay,
guy.
now they trying to get them to get inside of a vehicle now. Come on. They was trying to get this man to get inside of a vehicle. Talking about, no, come on, no, come on with us. We'll give you a ride. So that was their first attempt right there.
Hey, I was walking over here and got harassed by these guys.
I think he said they tried to charge some type of toll pass, maybe with a beer.
Maybe it was the beard. How I can't with him like I just can't, y'all. He's trying to say maybe it was the beard, not the fact that they really that they really hate black people. He just don't want to believe that there are white people that actually hate black people and that would do harm to black people. Like clearly he does not believe that.
What had really caught my attention was him saying that, they were chanting white power at him.
Fox hears that and he's like, I think I want to go talk to these guys. He was never like, I'm gonna go beat or anything. He's like, oh, that's not cool. I've got to go talk to him.
I had just finished restorative justice and conflict mediation training through a local Center for Justice and Mediation. So I feel qualified to have a conversation with someone who might have different viewpoints with me, might be a racist.
Our group, Max and I, were like,
See, now it's deeper than a viewpoint. We're not arguing like, okay, what's better, Republican or Democrat, which neither one of them are better. They're the same thing. Don't neither one of them care about the black community, do anything for the black community. Democrats and Republicans both are white supremacists and racists as far as I'm concerned. But I'm just giving an example. Uh, he talking about different viewpoints. Ben, if you're a hardcore racist, that's not a viewpoint. That's a lifestyle. That's an ideology. That's what you believe. That's what you live. What do you mean he wanted to go? He took some training on classes, and so now he was prepared to go speak to some people that historically, especially if they're young white power, historically known to kill and to cause harm to black people. Like, do he watch the news, YouTube, anything? Like, what's going on with him?
man, let's just let it slide. No big deal. We don't want to have any issues. But Vox was determined.
The three of us weren't going to let him go alone, so I decided to go with him. So we walked down to where the boat was docked, and I stood back a little ways. Fox went up there and talked to, I believe he was talking to Sean Purdy. Fox had his hands in his pockets the entire time. He was, very calm. The people on the boat became very heated. They started flailing their arms around, started raising their voices, started being obviously irritated. And at that point, it's best to walk away. I hear footsteps quickly approaching behind me. Purdy ran up and attacked him from behind, shoved him, and as Vox was turning around, the guy punched him in the face.
I come around this corner and I see a melee.
I ran up behind him and tried to pull one guy off. He turned around and clocked me in the face and knocked me to the ground.
Before the phones got out, that's when all this major stuff was said. That's when they were talking about getting a rope, lynching him. They deny they said that. And you're saying you heard them say that?
100%. They did. They absolutely did.
And so you heard them call Vox? Yeah. So I heard him. Yeah. I heard that in the background. One of the guys that had a hold of him looked at me and said, you guys get out of here. Leave the boy with us. My first thought was pull out my phone for protection. It was like the shield. Let it go, dude. Let him go. Let him go. Please, let him go. Please let him go.
I don't know if I'm going to die, and I don't know if these all white folks are going to leave me and save themselves.
Let him go, man. I just want you to let him go. Let him go. And I get up to him. A couple guys advance towards me, swing at me. Let him go. Your hand at me. Let him go. Get that down. I put the phone in my pocket. I advance. Put my hand on the guy's shoulder. Turns on Purdy's. He turns around, looks at me. I say, "Let him go." He lets him go. Fox gets up and we start walking away.
These folks continued to follow us and to taunt us.
Okay, so we already seen this part, but you see how he acting? That's what's so crazy to me. Well, anyway, we already seen this part because when we watched the first 4 videos, but this is what I'm not understanding. Like, what's wrong with him? Like, it's like he didn't realize like the harm and the danger that he was really in. Like, he really just trusted white people and just felt like they really like he believed the myth that that's old and that that doesn't exist anymore, even though it's like right there in front of your face. What I'm trying to think of any black person that I know that would been in that predicament that will respond the way he responded. It was almost as if he thought that he was a white person talking to white supremacists, you know what I mean, or racist. They yelling white power now. I could see another white person being like, okay, well, I don't think that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy said, I don't think that's right. So I'm gonna go down there and try to have a conversation with them or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I could see that. But as a black man out in the middle of the woods doing that, I don't get it. Like I'm not understanding if he's not realizing that he's black or what. But anyway, to go on to add some salt or to add some gas to the flame of this fire, he ended up taking trying to press charges on these guys for attempting to lynching him. And then something happened where they was trying to make a deal and get him to not talk bad about them or whatever like that. And so since he didn't do that, then they ended up getting something going and tried to put charges on him instead of putting the charges or split the charges and say that he had some foul play or whatever in it too. After even though we didn't watch the video footage. But anyway, let's go ahead and watch this other clip of him talking about them trying to charge him for these people trying to basically attempt to lynch him out in the damn woods. So let me do my screen like this, y'all. And once again, like the video, subscribe to my channel. This is Black Light. Welcome aboard to my new subscribers. I've seen a couple more people subscribe. My channel growing little bit by little, and I appreciate y'all subscribing. And I really wish that y'all would comment on these videos and just let me know how would you handle this situation? What have you done if that was you out there? You know, like what would you do?
Now to an
What
update
have
on a
you
story
done?
that we first brought you last summer when a local activist named Vox Booker said that he was jumped by a group of white men near Bloomington, Indiana on July 4th, saying that they pinned him to a tree and threatened to, quote, get a noose after they say that he and his friends trespassed on private property. You may remember this video that went viral showing part of the incident.
Go, dude. Let him go. Let him go, please. Let him go.
But more than a year later, Booker says that he's now facing charges himself in the altercation. Vox Booker, kind enough to join us tonight. Vox, 2 of the men involved in the altercation last year with you received felony charges and are due in court later this month. But now the special prosecutor from Monroe County has filed felony assault and misdemeanor trespassing charges against you as well. Explain why you believe this is happening.
First of all, to have charges filed against you in your own hate crime is outrageous. I believe the motivation behind this is simply that for the last year, the special prosecutor, Sonia Learcamp, has pressured me that I should forgive these men. She's talked about this idea she had of a forgiveness tool.
You see that? You see what I'm saying? That now they wanted him, the law wanted him to forgive them for that. because you know a lot of us, and I'm surprised he didn't, because he seemed like the type that would have went for that and been like, "Oh yes, I forgive him. You know, let's hold hands and sing 'We Shall Overcome' one day or whatever like that." I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised that he didn't want to take that route because you know so many of us take that route. So I was wrong about it on that one because when I said I was actually surprised that he didn't go for that.
How good it would be for the community, and seem more concerned about that than my actual welfare.
But why do you feel that she is going forward with pressing charges against you?
I think it's an intimidation technique. I don't know if she really means to carry these all the way through, or if her intent is just to simply to get me to back down and not make a fuss when she dismisses charges against these men.
We did reach out to the Monroe County Special Prosecutor's Office, and she said that she is, quote, ethically restrained from commenting upon the evidence prior to trial, and that she is, quote, doing my best to apply the law to the facts. What evidence do you have to back your claim that these charges are being filed because you didn't participate in the restorative justice effort?
Well, one of the things is the participation agreement itself that was first drafted. The first draft that she gave me locked me into confidentiality. It contractually obligated me to agree with the dismissal of charges, and it dictated that I would participate in a joint press conference.
Now, David Hennessy, the attorney for two of the other parties, had no comment on your charges, but has said in the past that you were, quote, the instigator and the agitator, and that you punched one of the men 3 times and had to be.
And of course they gonna say that. And of course they would say that. Now y'all know good and well this man went out in the woods. They did it after he went to go talk peacefully with them or whatever about them yelling white power and trying to get a dialogue going with them. You know good and well he that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. This man was not just out there because, in fact, had he been acting like that, those his friends that were out there that were white would have turned on him and would have been like, ah, he's acting. No, no, he didn't do that.
Restrained.
But of course, they're gonna say that.
What's your response to that?
It's the oldest trope in the book that
Right.
The black man is the aggressor. It would ask one to believe that I would go up to a group of drunken white men wearing Confederate flag hats and grossly outnumbered and suddenly start assaulting them.
So you're saying that you never punched anyone there?
No, so the initial confrontation started after I walked away. It was obvious that it was going to potentially be a dangerous situation. I walked away. The gentleman, I use that.
Now, see, that's the thing. You don't have to use the term loosely or nothing, gentlemen.
Term loosely, stalked me like an animal through the woods, caught me from behind, and assaulted me.
And so, but a lot of people are going to say, though, but did you punch them? And so I just want to get just a no or yes answer to that.
Well, I think I did what you or any sensible person would do. When you're attacked by a group of people fighting for your life, of course, you're going to tussle back and forth and try to just stay alive any way you can.
And you've been charged with trespassing on that property in the past. You have said that organizers of the event that you were attending gave you permission to walk through. Will you be able to prove that?
Both the Department of Natural Resources and the FBI have confirmed that I was attacked on public land. The issue of trespassing is that while I was crossing through the property earlier in the day.
Okay. Well, that's enough of that. That's really enough of that. My whole thing is that just goes to show you how they can twist up anything. Like, how is this a justice system when something like that happens to someone, and then which we see so many times before, the system is taken up for those gentlemen, and we see it so much that we're pretty much like desensitized to it. We don't really look at the full like impact or how outrageous or how like messed up that is that someone in this situation, that anybody that's supposed to be in a position of upholding justice or upholding the law would even dare to attempt to try to do that to a victim. I mean, we already know it, but for one, just on that, like that's just outrageous to me that they would even attempt to try to do something like that, that the judges would allow something like that, that the other people, that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that's allowing something for them to even do that is a part of it. So that's why it's called a system, and that's why it's an unjust system, because not one judge, not one lawyer, not one person going to stand up and say, "How in the hell are you pressing charges against him?" And we have video footage, and I mean the whole entire scenario of the thing, black men out in the woods, they clearly are white supremacists. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They're letting it be known. It's not like it's a secret. So let's just use common sense and logical sense here, and historical sense, and then make it make sense that that you would turn around and then try to charge him for battery, try to charge him for misdemeanor trespassing, and all that other BS. Like, I mean, that's just horrible. That's just horrible. But I would say this on the other side of the end, for one, and this ain't being like race discriminatory or nothing like that, but ain't no way in the hell I would be out in no woods by myself with an all group of white people. That's just not going to happen, especially not in Bloomington. Do you not know Bloomington, Indiana is like known for like the Klan in like Bloomington, Indiana? Let me see if I can, because Bloomington, Indiana, which is where this happened at, is known for having the Klan there. Like, yeah, see, news report right here. KK Flyers in Bloomington, like they're known. Like I think they had rallies there, all sorts of things. So it's I'm trying to think the Grand Wizard. Like I'm serious. Like Clan Bloomington, Indiana, Grand Wizard. Like I don't believe that the Grand Wizard was in Bloomington, if I'm not mistaken, or one of them was in Bloomington. Well, this one took us all the way back to 1982. Okay, y'all. I just decided to come back now because I was like, well, let me go find out what actually happened after they were trying to charge him or whatever with assault, and tried to figure out what the charges, what was going on with him. So I went to go Google to find out what happened, and supposedly this is what happened. It just happened this month. This case just got settled or whatever. So let's read and see what happened with this case. So I'm reading from Indiana Daily Student. All charges dropped in the 2020 Lake Monroe case. Voss Booker stands with his attorney August 2nd, 2022, in front of Monroe County Courthouse. The charges against Sean Purdy, Jerry Cox, and Booker for the 2020 incident at Monroe have been dropped. Okay, now see, remember at first he said that they were trying to get him to do some type of mediation type sort of type thing, and that they were trying to intimidate him to do it, and he said that he wasn't going to do it. Apparently, this fool went ahead and took it. I guess he got scared because they told him, we're gonna charge you with battery, we're gonna take you for this and that or whatever. So this fool and got scared and took it. Special prosecuting attorney Sonia Lickercamp made a motion to dismiss all charges regarding a racist confrontation in 20. Look at them acknowledging it on top at Lake Monroe between Sean Purdy, Jerry Cox, and Von Booker, according to a case file released May 18th. The case was resolved through restorative justice, which is the process of understanding, accountability, and repairing harms to victims, according to the Center for Community Justice in the case file. So at the end of the day, without reading all of this, he basically did what the people told him to do. In a dispute over whether or not Booker was trespassing on Purdy's property in the summer of 2020, Purdy and Cox physically assaulted Booker and yelled racial slurs at him. Okay, so that's 100% the definition of a hate crime. 100% definition of a hate crime. If you Google hate crime, that's going to be part of the definition. Purdy was, however, this is what he was charged with. So I'm putting the however in there. Purdy was charged with criminal confinement with bodily injury, battery with moderate injury, and intimidation. Cox was charged with aiding, inducing, or causing criminal confinement and battery, as well as 2 counts of battery of intimidation, which are all misdemeanors. See, that's why I repeat myself on this over and over again when I say it's crazy how we in this country as blacks, like the system is built to where it doesn't have to be logical. It can defy all of your physical senses. It can be irrational as hell, don't even make sense. And then they'll tell you that because they have that power and authority, they can make something that's wrong, right, or something that's 100% illegitimate or definitely not ethical, make it right. Now, after all we just sat here and watched, and after all the witnesses' testimony is not his word against theirs, we know the history of people that are white supremacists in these type of organizations. So I mean, it's just blatant. So um, instead of this man being charged with a hate crime, they decided to do all misdemeanors, which is crazy. Booker was later charged. Look, after he tried to pursue charges against them, then all of a sudden he's laterly charged with resulting in moderate bodily injury and misdemeanor of criminal trespassing. Now that's crazy. Some people assaulting you and attacking you, and then they gonna turn around and then try to put charges against you to the point to where you don't even want to take action against some people that just harmed you or that were criminal against you, that assaulted you. That's crazy. Purdy wrote in his restorative justice experience that despite viewing the Confederate flag, which was printed on his hat during the confrontation as a symbol of the South, he has since learned the symbol is racially charged. Come on now, you've been to school on this and you don't know that. He said his actions were done out of misunderstanding. Cox wrote he regretted being verbally abusive to Booker. He said he initially doubted the restorative justice process, but said he has learned more about himself and others. That ain't nothing but a crock of shit. Somebody that's got that mess ingrained in them like that, to where you would say, let's get a noose, and you would hold him down and actually attempt to lynch him and tell other people to leave him with you. Having a couple mediation sessions doesn't change something that's deeply rooted in someone like that. But anyway, that's all. This is Black Light. Like the channel, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I just came across this update, so I was trying to just give an update on what happened, just in case anybody wonder what happened. So that's all for now, and thank you very much.